Welcome back. Thom Hartmann here with you. Did you see this story? This falls into the category of as Snarkoleptic posts over at Democratic Underground. Stay classy, conservatives. I mentioned flag burning, and if you're in your early 20s, you probably don't even remember this. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you do, but a decade, maybe 2 decades ago, there were a couple of people who burned some flags, and there was this whole national hysteria around flag burning. And then there was the thing around the death penalty, when Michael Dukakis was running for president against George Herbert Walker Bush, the Willie Horton ad was, Michael Dukakis, he's anti-death penalty. And he let this guy out of jail who raped and murdered a white woman. He was a black guy. Oh, my God. Look at the pictures on TV. So what the Republicans have to do every 2 years, every election cycle, is figure out a way to put an issue to the forefront that will be so inflammatory and so novel, such a new shiny thing, that the media will just glom onto it, and that commentators will be able to write op-ed pieces. It's got to be, a fairly simple issue, not a lot of complexity to it. Or if there is complexity, the complexity actually obscures. The complexity prevents people from understanding that the simple argument is really a stupid argument, like the flag burning argument, for example. And this whole, trans bathroom thing. So now the Danbury News Times reports, this is over at Raw Story, that this was a woman in a woman's bathroom. Born a woman, still a woman. She was in a woman's bathroom, and she had cut her hair off to donate. She's 22 years old, and she did a video about this over on Facebook talking about the experience. And she cut her hair off to help a friend who had cancer. It wasn't specifically for that friend. It was, the hair is being gathered to make wigs for women who have cancer and are going through chemotherapy. So here she is in the ladies' room with very, very short hair. And some total stranger comes up to her, assuming, I guess, that she's a trans woman, that she was born a man because she's got short hair or something. I don't know. But just somebody who's been inflamed by Donald Trump and Fox News. Actually, Trump he's got two different positions on this. One, he doesn't care what restroom in Trump Tower Caitlyn Jenner uses. In other words, he's tolerant. On the other hand, hey, if Pat McCrory wants to trash trans people in the state of North Carolina, fine with me, states' rights. So, Trump is a hypocrite, but in any case, the Republican Party is pumping this for all they've got because they don't want us to talk about wages. They don't want us to talk about trade. They don't want us to talk about, and by the way, the TPP is coming. And we do need to be pointing this out. I spent a fair amount of time on this program yesterday just going through how many jobs we lost and how many billions of dollars in trade deficit we were thrown into by NAFTA, by the Colombian Free Trade Agreement. And now there's a new one. This down in Colombia, it's incredible what's going on. Hang on just a second. Here we go. Find this piece here. Since the free trade agreement went into force, now this one of the sales pitches for these free trade agreements. Keep in mind, under the Trans-Pacific Partnership, Malaysia is part of this. In Malaysia, slavery is still legal. In most of these countries, workers have no protections. In Vietnam, there's one union. It's the Communist parties. And if you join, if you join it or don't join it, I mean, that's it. Okay, so when we were pitching this free trade deal with Colombia, the sales pitch to us from both the Republicans and the Democrats, frankly, was, We're going to put worker protections into this thing that guarantee that trade unionists can, that people can join unions easily, and that if companies try to intimidate or threaten their union workers, or if governments do, that they will be in violation of this agreement. And therefore, the wrath of God will fall on them, right? Well, I got this morning from the office of Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro. And there was an event this morning at 9:30 where Rosa DeLauro, Keith Ellison, Hank Johnson, Mark Pocan, Jan Schakowsky, Diogenes, these are the members of Congress, and then two folks from the Columbia, from Columbia, trade union workers. But these five members of Congress, DeLauro, Ellison, Johnson, Pocan, and Schakowsky, got together and presented these statistics. Remember, we were told if we just do a free trade deal with Colombia, we're gonna solve the problem of Colombian trade unionists being murdered. Since the free trade, reading from the press release from the office of Congresswoman Rosa DeLauro, since the free trade agreement with Colombia went into force, the complaint reports that 1,466 workers have suffered threats or acts of violence, including 99 assassinations, 6 kidnappings, and 955 death threats. The complaint asserts that impunity for these acts is 87%. In other words, 87% of the time, nobody gets prosecuted, nothing gets done. And that the cases have not resulted in a single conviction. So 100% of the time, nobody goes to jail. For 6 kidnappings and 99 assassinations under this free trade agreement, and we haven't shut down trade with Colombia, and this is what we're supposed to sign with So anyhow, my point is that there are real issues out there. And so anyhow, this woman is in the ladies' room, and she's a girly girl, she's just a woman, and she's in the ladies' room with short hair because she cut her hair for a cancer charity. And this other woman who's been watching too much Fox News came up and said, "You're disgusting. You don't belong here." And she's like, "What?" She posted this video on Facebook. She says, after experiencing the discrimination that they face, trans people, firsthand, I cannot fathom the discrimination transgender people must face in a lifetime. Can you imagine going out every day and having people tell you who you should not be, or who you are, or that people will not accept you as who you are? So here we have a political party, the Republican Party, that is going into this election with two major pillars to win the election. The first is the suppression of the vote. Connecticut, by the way, a democratically run state, just passed, and it was done by the governor's office by executive order, or the Secretary of State's office. Everybody who has an interaction with the DMV gets registered to vote in Connecticut now. 400,000 more people are going to be added to the rolls. But in the Republican-controlled states, the 33 Republican-controlled states, you've got voter suppression laws, and then, now we've got, Texas is following on to North Carolina and other states. And so it's basically suppress the vote on the one hand and create hysteria on the other, so that there's no discussion about real issues like TPP, which will never make its way onto MSNBC or CNN. Never. Ain't going to happen. Or net neutrality, never going to be discussed. Or the fate of people living in red states, working people living in red states who make too little money to qualify for Obamacare and too much money to qualify for Medicaid because those governors have refused to expand Medicaid. So you get situations like Charlene Dill, the mother of 2 down in Florida, who died because Rick Scott down there would not expand Medicaid.
To watch more clips from our programs, hit the Watch More Videos button over here. And please be sure to hit the handy-dandy subscribe button so you'll always be up to date. Tag, you're it.